this is what the show's about, free game. Because I think us as people, us in our culture, everything want to be instant.
Yeah, man.
Everything wants to be microwaved. Everybody wants stuff to happen overnight.
Real quick. From ball playing to stunting, flows to have them bugging. They wanna know how we do it, but really, man, it's nothing. Conversation has changed, but game is still the same. Ray, Kyle, and Kev, Chanel, that be the gang. What we doing? Free game. What they want? Free game. Oh, we got it. Free game. Tell them again, what we doing? Free game. What they want? Free game. Oh, we got it. Free game. You keep the change. Shout out to Feel Good Media. Up next, the usual suspects.
It's the first ever recorded episode of Free Game with your homies, the usual suspects. And we got a special episode today, man. We got one of the legends from Sussex County, man. Sussex Tech standout. Stop playing. Sussex Tech standout.
Roll the show. You feel me? Roll the motherfucking show.
You know, Wesley God, I appreciate you stopping by, man. Appreciate you stopping by, man.
All love.
Man, like I said, standout. 26 is 11th grade year, 28 is senior year, over 1,700 points. And then went to Wesley, went over 2,400 in 4 years. So he had that average over 26, 27, man. So, I mean, for the folks, man, you know, we don't hear from you much, man. You know, you laid back, always been a laid back dude, you know what I'm saying? But taking care of the kids, right?
Yeah.
You got
3 kids.
3 kids?
Yeah.
You said 2 girls, right?
2 girls and a boy, 12, 6, and 2.
Okay. And you just had the baby boy.
Just baby boy, yep.
Man, that's what's up, man.
Yeah.
And like I said, you like us, man. We laid back. So after the lights start to dim a little bit, you know, we fall back to the background, start to figure things out, man, and become men. And from what I know, we've always bumped into each other here and there, always showed love, respect. But you always handled your business though. Yeah. So man, I just, from the outside looking in, I just want to salute, man. Like I said, the purpose of this show is to give guys like you, guys that play hard, you know, legends, stars, everybody that put in work in the streets of Sussex County and Kent County, the whole Eastern Shore, and even high school, middle school, whatever. You put in work, we know. Everybody knows who put in work here on the shore, you know, and you're definitely one of the ones that stood out the most during your run from, really, like I said, at least your junior year on.
Same thing I said. You can't come on here if you ain't legit.
2004.
Man, not legit.
You won't be on here if you ain't legit. You won't be on here.
So man, let's jump straight into it, man. Fucking so who was your favorite basketball player growing up, bro?
Growing up, at first it was MJ, and then like once he retired, you know who it was? It was Black Mamba.
That's crazy, man. We all, yo, everybody was either Iverson or Kobe.
It's our era.
Everybody respected
you know
Jordan.
Like our era.
That's crazy.
You know, when I was young, you know, when we were younger, MJ was still hitting game winners. And then once he left, like Kobe, like it's like he filled those shoes. So
right
like,
after,
you had no other choice but to
at least respect it.
Right.
That was the reason why I really wasn't a fan of Kobe, because he was so close to Mike.
And listen, I didn't like Jordan.
There's no number 2. You know what I'm saying? There's no number 2.
There is none. But I respected Jordan, but I didn't like Jordan growing up, though. I was Penny. So when was the first time you actually picked the ball up and started hooping? That you can remember, your earliest memory?
Probably like 3rd, 4th grade.
3rd, 4th.
Like I just remember like elementary school. It was a lot of cats that were nicer to me though.
Yeah.
And I just remember like every day at recess, it was a wait to get on the court. Even back then, they had one court.
So where did you grow up playing hoops at this time?
I grew up in Frankfurt. I went to Frankfurt Elementary.
Okay.
So
Frankfurt,
Yeah,
shout out
yes,
homies
sir.
in Frankfurt,
Yeah.
shout out.
Okay, so who around that time? Who was you growing up? Who was you in school with around that time?
a cat named Trey Goodman. He was a bucket.
Yeah.
Yes,
Back
right.
then.
You know Trey? I don't know.
What? What?
Yeah, Trey, Chad Gibbs was at a
Mhm.
young. He was nice.
Okay. So I don't know none of these dudes.
Nah, I mean, they all went to the
Okay,
river.
you went to Lewis.
Yeah.
I played him at the Sherwin-Williams,
Yeah.
Ocean City.
Oh, okay,
That's when I started
okay.
meeting all them from around
Got
there.
you.
know what
Yeah,
I'm
Like my
saying?
brother-
At recess, that's the
Yeah.
fastest 30 minutes on the court.
Man, the
Yeah.
fastest what? And you got to take 10 minutes, pick teams.
Yeah, like my brother, he was, he was like 6'1" in third, fourth grade. So he was,
Yeah.
yeah,
Honest.
he was big,
Yeah.
like, so
So he was already it.
he was already just,
Stronger,
Right.
taller, you know
Right,
what I mean?
right.
And he got that dog in him too.
yeah.
Yeah, yes he does.
You know what I
Yes
mean?
he
That's how he
does.
played.
Yes he
Right.
does.
I did
I
that on
remember
that
that.
box.
Cause like I said, when
I remember that.
no, you wasn't there yet. But your 8th grade year, y'all 8th grade
Eighth
year,
grade, yeah.
y'all came to Lewis.
Oh yeah.
Y'all blew us out.
Yeah.
Everybody blew us out.
Yeah. Stayed there.
Yo, in 7th and 8th grade, we was getting slapped, man. But I remember y'all came in, y'all was loaded. I remember Ani.
Yeah.
Cause like you said, he was already.
The white
He was
boy,
way
Chris
athletic,
Mills.
more athletic.
We had a big team. I don't know if you
Yeah.
remember.
Chris
Dave-
Mills, I
Dave
remember.
Jerusik.
I remember him. Him and Chris was like twins.
Yeah.
Him and Chris was like
Thurm,
twins.
Higgins,
Shout out.
Thurm was the
Thurm.
monster.
Yeah,
Thurm, my baby. Me and Thurm,
Thurm
were in
was
my
a
house.
monster.
So, you know what I mean?
Thurm was a monster.
Thurm,
Yes.
like from here.
Yeah, I remember y'all came and y'all tapped our head. We only won one game that year. We had a whack ass coach, man. He playing niggas in 5s. I ain't where they do that at.
I get a quarter.
So of course
Yeah.
we won one game. We know how politics go down the Cape anyway, but that's a whole nother topic. We're not gonna get there. But I remember y'all came in and y'all slapped us, man. And like you said, at that time, you was probably in the shadows a little bit at that time, right?
Yeah, I was big time. Like I just.
Cause like you said, I remember that big white boy.
Yeah.
Him and Chris were like twins a
Yeah,
little
like
bit.
yeah, they
reminded
were
each other.
We had a big team kind of like for middle school.
Mm-hmm.
6'2". My
Yeah.
brother. Then you had Chris. He like 6'3".
Yeah.
Then Jerusik was 6'4".
Chris
in middle
always
school.
been tall. Chris
So
always been tall.
we had a considered a big team. For
So what
middle
y'all
school.
go that year?
We lost 2 games. We lost to Central and we lost to
Yeah.
Dover.
Dover were tough.
Yeah.
Dover were tough. They had Moses.
Central, hey, yeah.
7th grade year, you don't remember
With
the
the
dude
braids?
Cheyenne? Yeah, he could
Yeah.
jump out the gym.
More. Was it
Yeah,
Cheyenne?
yeah. I mean, he was the only
Back
player
then,
that had.
Yeah.
They
Where you
just
go high
cheated
school
back
at?
then.
Where you go high school at?
I'm not sure. He went to like a prep school, right? He
Okay.
left.
See, I don't know him. I ain't
Yeah,
never
but
heard
like
of
in
him.
middle school though, he
Yeah.
was
He was tough.
You know how I'm thinking, man. This nigga too old. Something
Yeah,
ain't
right.
right.
That's how I felt about Dover.
When they came through.
And y'all,
This nigga was
everybody was just so big back.
he
I'm
was
glad
like
we
the,
caught
he was
up,
like
man.
the same size. He was like 6'3", 6'4", right? But he was like different type of athlete.
Right,
Dumb
right,
Like,
right,
athletic.
right.
It wasn't no. We were slapping the back where he was.
Yeah, see, I always, I was like,
He was
man,
moving from
Yeah.
the backboard when he going
That's
for the leg.
crazy.
He was different.
You said his name was what? Cheyenne.
Cheyenne Moore.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So
Yeah.
was that y'all about 10-2, 11-2, something
Yeah,
like that?
yeah. I know we lost 2 games. Central. I
And
think
Dover.
our both like my 7th grade year we lost to Central too.
Okay.
Yeah.
7th grade, so you was 6th grade. Who was on your 7th grade team? Who was on the 7th to 8th grade? When you was in 6th grade, who was on Central?
They had Frank.
Drew was 8th grade.
What's the mixed Frank name?
Frank Harris.
Oh my god.
He was Clay Thompson. That's the
they had
truth.
Nate Kelly, Frank.
Yeah.
Nate was a problem too.
Warner.
They all took me under their wing.
They had
Like,
Drew.
no, they,
Drew was,
yeah.
Drew was always a year older than you,
Yeah.
wasn't
They had
he was deep. He was deep.
yeah they was tough 7th and
he?
8th grade. Yeah.
Okay. Did Tingle coach them too?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
First
He gonna
year.
get the most out of his
I think
players
that was
anyway.
I think that was the first year.
Any program he's in, he
Yeah,
gonna
he-
get
Yes,
it.
we went on. We had my boy Danny Milam on there.
Shout out to Daddy, man.
Yeah,
I ain't
man.
never gonna see this, but shout you out, man. Stop
And
it.
even
That's
helped
my
him was
baby.
that it was a rival, Indian River versus Central.
Same
pretty
school
much.
district. That's
Yeah.
Lewis and Milton.
Yeah, so it was always a good game. They just got us each
Yeah.
Because at that time Indian River they was on their downside, so like most of the
Yeah.
people would come to the middle school
Right.
games because they figured we was up next. So
Mm-hmm. Y'all probably
It was
beat them
nice
in the
too, though.
summertime.
Like,
Yeah, I'm about to say.
All was nice back then. So
So
They knew
what?
it.
So my thing was, what made you decide to go to Tech for that reason you just said right there? River
Yeah.
was on the downside.
yeah, see River, my brother got accepted first. He played football.
Okay.
They ain't know nothing about me.
At all.
He started, at Tech, they have that, like, the summer football where you go and you stay, like, they stay the whole week up there.
Yeah.
And he was telling me, yo, my brother played basketball.
Okay.
So they sent him the paperwork home.
See, this is very interesting, though,
Yeah.
because keep going, because without this, you're not what you are.
Yeah. So I remember.
People don't know that.
Yes,
Tech,
they don't
Tech
know that.
started school like a week or two before everybody else. They had started school.
Always.
And,
always.
I was prepared to go to Rivers, so when they brought the paperwork home, my mom filled it out, and the next week when everybody started school, they told me I got in.
Because it was a different process to get in.
Yeah.
Because now it's like some
like
crazy stuff.
It's like a name in a hat.
And pull it out. Yeah, okay. That's crazy, bro. You know what? I never knew that's how. I thought I didn't know that's how that went down.
Man, the landscape would have been a lot different.
It would have, man, listen.
That's
Because I would have played in the South.
And who knows if you would have got that. No, okay, because here's
Yeah.
my thing now. Okay, so ninth grade, you start off freshman or JV?
Well, my freshman year,
You know,
I was on
if he get the coach
JV.
that he had, you know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm getting to, yeah. Because I know somewhere down the line, it's going to say a coach turned my game around.
See,
We're going to get there.
Yeah, see, it was tricky. My freshman year, right, they had me trying out with varsity.
Mm-hmm. Your freshman year?
Yeah.
Who was on varsity then?
Tynell Tingle, LJ Watson.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember both
Both
of
love
them.
blocking that dude out.
Yes, sir. Tingle's still around now pushing
Chris
on.
Hop.
My God.
They had Mike Hooks. They had some guys that could go.
Mm-hmm.
They had me like Coach Kelly had came to Tech that my freshman year, and he was like, nah, he's ready. But when they had me up like practicing, they had me like playing the back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody else that was older was getting it. Like,
Right.
So Kelly was your freshman coach? Was the freshman coach?
he
Or
coached.
was
Him
it?
and Coach Kabat.
Okay.
He came to. He left Indian River, came to Tech that one year, and then he went to Dover that following year.
Cause that's where I remember Kelly
Yeah.
from. It was a dope.
Yeah, so my freshman year, he was like, nah, he ready. So, but I was timid. I just played the back, like all the
How big are you at this point in time, too, though?
5'11".
Right. Okay, so and then
Yeah.
you go buck
Kind
30.
of chubby. Yeah, nah, see, my freshman year,
You
I was kind of like, I was a little chunky though.
Okay, I never knew you were chunky though.
My following year, I came back, was like 6'2", and that's when I thinned out. Like, I grew up a little,
Right,
just-
because that's when I started this. Your 10th grade year was when you
Yeah.
started to scratch the surface
Yeah.
a little bit.
That's when we bumped
Yeah.
heads.
So what happened 10th grade? 10th grade was our 9th grade year. We didn't bump heads with him
Yeah.
yet.
Ninth.
Because he's a year older than us. He was 04.
4.
Yeah. So 10th.
I bumped heads with him.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I ain't really. I always knew, like you said.
Well, that was a mild matchup that year. It wasn't really heavy.
Nah, it wasn't about y'all at that Nah,
time.
it really wasn't.
Okay,
at that time.
yeah,
But
yeah.
we was in the mix.
But we-
Right.
We was in the
He
mix.
was on the lights.
That's the crazy part. I went from one rival, and then it was a cross-town rival
Yes,
at the
sir.
time. Cause they
Right,
was over
right.
at the old school, so it was like,
See, I'm
Yeah.
gonna stop you right there too. Because a lot of these kids don't know about the old school.
No, they don't.
hey,
You got the
small,
old centrals.
small, hot, and tight.
Come on, man. You got to sit on the floor.
Yeah,
man, can reach out and touch you.
Come on, man. You got to sit on the
Don't
floor.
niggas don't even want to take the ball out in that
Yeah,
gym,
Come on,
dog.
man. They breathing right on your neck.
Well, when ball down, you
here.
looking on
Only
no,
gym you
look
have
at
to
that.
stretch before the game. It was so hot, you was loose.
You was
man.
loose.
Man,
Jersey,
man.
warm-ups,
Man.
drinks.
By the time you did your first layup, you was already So,
Back crazy.
you know, but a lot of kids, and you know what's crazy? A lot of kids can't play in that era, and they say
No,
what
they
want out there to
cannot.
see this
No, they
video.
cannot. No, they
play in this
cannot.
that era, and I tell a lot of kids that. But you know, being the way they are, you
Can't tell them nothing.
It wasn't touch fouls back then.
No, it wasn't.
Like how today, I see a lot of kids shoot a lot of free. Like back then, they let you play.
Yes, they
Like,
did.
You know, the game changed.
Yeah.
The game changed.
Yeah.
They did change. So your 10th grade year, what was that? Was JV or varsity?
All right, my freshman year, I was on varsity, but we had Coach Ayers. He was coaching JV.
Name.
I told him, I was like, man,
No,
I'd
no,
rather.
No. That's my baby. He's
Oh,
coming on this show
yeah.
too.
Shout out.
You know what I'm
Shout out
saying?
to
You
you,
know,
man.
you know what I'm
Shout
saying?
out.
That's my baby. He raised all of us because
sir.
that's who really got us
Yeah,
into hooping.
and like he took me under his wing. So at that age, I kind of realized like I wasn't naive. I didn't want to just be on varsity just to be on it. I told him one day, I was like, yo, I'd rather come and play on JV as long as I'm on the court playing.
Right.
That's what I should have told him on
And
10th grade. Yeah,
He
that's
talked
right.
to Coach
That's real.
about. He was like, he wants to play. He don't want to just
Sit
be
around
sitting.
playing in the back.
And I think that was the best decision ever.
The Dame got you right.
Because we went 18-2, and like he the first one that gave me the green light.
Right, and because they didn't know what basketball looked like, and he knew what you was offering.
But see, he gave you the green light. How many other players he gave the green light on that team?
Who was on your? No, you said
But everybody can't get the green light.
man.
You know what I mean? That's why everybody can't be on this show.
I'm gonna tell you who was on our JV team. Cody
This your
White,
ninth grade year, right?
ninth grade year.
Okay, because Cody's supposed to be a cake with us.
Cody White,
That's
Kevin
my love
Ball,
too.
Y'all stole him
that's
too.
the cake,
We ain't gonna
Brandon Mann was on JV.
That's
We
what
come out Lord. Come on, man. Y'all took everything
He
from
played
us.
like 2 or 3 games, and he
He was
ended
on
up brought-
varsity.
Yeah, he started running the show for
That's
varsity.
my love right there, bro. That's who we I get. That's who was beating my head
Yeah.
early.
My brother,
Through the hood.
damn,
Trav was on varsity.
Trav was on varsity.
Yeah, both
Mike
ways.
Burton,
Mike Burton,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
yeah.
Yeah, because he went
Y'all
over
had-
he from Louis.
Y'all was supposed to win the title too.
Yeah, took the whole
When
Vikings.
you-
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
we took.
But
we
it
took
created
up-
gaps though.
Yeah.
It's some competition though.
Yeah. So we was our freshman class was crazy. Like
Yeah, because all y'all was freshmen at the same
yeah,
time.
all of us was freshmen.
All them was freshmen at the
Yeah.
same time. That same senior year team that y'all had.
Yep, same team. Well, plus Brandon came over.
We
junior year.
We say that.
We're gonna get there, cause
Yeah.
yes, sir. We're gonna get there. But so you're 18-2, your 9th grade season.
Ninth grade season.
So
We lost to Central and Dover.
Let me tell you something though.
First game of the season, we lost. I think our first 2 games of the season and ran the
and
table.
then y'all beat
It's
them.
something
Y'all
about
beat them
Dover,
again, 'cause
man. It's something about Dover.
Man, they were
because
just
we
always.
split with
They
them a lot.
always had athletes.
They always
man.
had
Like,
athletes, man.
just
They ain't really
tough.
had no jump shooters or nothing,
Yeah.
but they was gonna D you up, get out on that break, and
play-
talk
yeah,
shit.
And yeah, they played different back then. Like,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Dover team was rough, man.
I ain't gonna lie, dog. When we was coming through the Hillopin
Big
Conference,
man.
What's his name? Dale, his
I
brother.
remember all of
You
them.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember all
so
of them.
then, okay, so and the crazy thing about your freshman team, your JV team, and it was the same team that went up. Everybody had a role,
Man, listen.
and
Coach
that
started from there.
and you figure you was the school, you was the bucket.
And
everything
Coach
revolved
Ayers
around
don't
you.
get enough credit, man. He was young at the time, but he understood like the dynamic because he always told us he was like, it's a program. He was like, if it's a program, it starts from the bottom up. He was like,
Yeah.
his job was to get us ready to
Go
take
to
off.
varsity,
Yeah,
which he
and-
did, and he exceeded that
And
expectation.
we didn't see it at first because we was just like, man, like it was tough. Like,
Yeah, man. Listen,
and
then
he
you know
was
what
a
you're
tough
going
coach,
through.
but like you had to respect him because we saw the results.
And he
Like,
would get out there and do it with you.
yeah,
But
because he was young and he could jump up. What people don't know, he
He
was an
played.
athlete.
Yes, sir.
He could jump
Yeah,
out
man.
the gym.
So you seeing him?
It's not one of them coaches that's telling you this and that and can't show you what. He'll actually get the ball, show you a rip through,
Right.
Like
Go to the
reverse
layup,
pivot.
right? All
Like,
that.
he was showing you what you needed to do, and so like it made you respect him more. Like, well, damn, like
Man, you like I said earlier, man. Dame is he probably besides Tom Kavaleski, he's probably the first coach that you can remember, and he's the first coach that I can remember. So I already know what he brings to the table, dog. Him and Tingle put inside us is still that's all our culture is.
Yeah.
That's all we know.
Especially for me.
because they cared about us first,
And then the game.
and then it was basketball.
Right.
Yeah.
Basketball was like he cared about.
Till this
yeah,
day.
That's
You
how.
feel
Yeah,
me? Till this day.
Man, as a 12-year-old and a 15, 16-year-old, if Dame or Tingle would say do a backflip off a building, I was going to do it
Yeah. But
I'm
because
gonna
I knew I was going to be cool.
Or that make you believe
but-
you
but
can
at
do it.
least
Yeah.
believe you
I
can
heard
do
that
it.
to be right there to help.
But
Yeah.
with this era, the parents ain't gonna let them express themselves to the kids how they got to express themselves because they're gonna say, "Well, y'all grew up in a little area where y'all used to that.
Right,
They're
right,
not used
right.
to that. So y'all babying these kids.
Yeah,
you know what I
man.
mean? It don't work like that.
But like you said, that's always been the fact. Like Dame's resume starts there, and then we see what he did every time he got an opportunity.
Man, they did my boy dirt. I'll be the first to say he was supposed to take over when Coach went to Wesley, but
You know
we're
how
not gonna
stuff
talk
go.
about the politics.
No, we're
man.
not going to do that because
Because he got everybody ready for
You know how
Coach,
it go.
but then when it was time for him to
had
get the
his
position, they overlooked him and brought somebody from the
And
outside.
then what he do when he went his next opportunity?
and when he
man.
when he went,
when he went
it-
to the
it-
on,
when he went to the bridge.
It wasn't the program.
They ran the South.
It wasn't the program. It was the man in the program.
Yeah, he turned that whole program around and like.
Because like we was talking earlier about the whole story about you getting into tech from the rip.
Yeah.
Can you say out of your mouth if you don't get Coach Ayers, you don't have your junior and your senior year?
Nah, I can honestly say, man, listen, Coach, he advanced my game because like what people don't know, like each year my game changed.
Because I feel the same way about Tingle.
Yeah, like what people don't realize, I was coming off the screen type. I would just run you crazy.
That was
I went and put the
Rick
ball on the
Hamilton.
floor.
That
I
was
was just
the
coming
scouting
off the
right,
screen.
From a guy who had to go.
And if I'm open, I'm gonna knock the shot down.
Every time.
Every
And
time.
man, listen, I, before you get started, man,
Yeah.
while you stay right there, I remember your 11th grade year, because we about to get into this is where the shit gets fucking real. I remember we played y'all at Tech. This nigga scored 18 straight from the same fucking spot. And it was different. 2 times off a screen, 2 times in transition, 1 time off a spot up, another time off a transition. I was on the bench at the time.
But Troy didn't have us right at the
No, he
time.
didn't.
We were not
Let me tell you
together
the story,
at
though.
all, and bro made us pay for that. He tore our ass out the
crazy
frame.
thing was like I used to break down the game. Like we had like lines on the floor.
Right.
So like when we used to go over our sets, that's how I would remember. Like I just would remember we had this red lines on, and like I knew that. Yeah, so I knew that like that's where I shot my best from, like on each side.
It was that fucking
So
right wing.
yeah, the right one. So like I was same side every time.
You don't forget where somebody
Come on,
took
man, I
from.
remember that. No, I was on the bench. I was on the bench.
He can tell us
I was on the bench.
every shot Brandon did him. Hey, you stop that. You know, I was over where somebody took
I was sitting right here. He was tearing our ass up from that right wing. And I'm like, who is going, somebody going to get there? Because this is my 10th grade year. That's why I said, I know how you feel about dating.
And like
I know how
that,
you feel about dating.
I couldn't put the ball on the floor like that. So I just had to use. I would always act like I'm going left off the screen and come back this every time. And back then, like they were trying to overplay me, so they would just automatically jump in the lane. So like that's why I was open most of the times, because I'm faking left and going right. So they was overplaying because they didn't want me to get the ball. And yeah,
Is that why was some of your toughest games against Drew?
See the thing with Drew, right? When I was younger, he was
He's a
long.
bully. And he was a bully.
Yeah, and he was you know, I was smaller.
Right.
He was, so like
Because like you said, that's what
He looking down on top of you. I know what he's saying to you because I
like you said, I know,
he
bro.
looking at you shaking his head like, and he just his size was intimidating. Like at that age,
At that age, a grown ass man.
Yeah.
He used to tell me when we used
Yeah.
to play, he said, man, fuck that. Look, Kyle, let me get him. Look, I'm all over here.
But like you said, you couldn't put the ball on the ground at the time.
See myself, I couldn't, and he was long, so it's like if you had to be wide open,
To get a shot.
or he gonna get it.
Gonna
Like
block.
yeah, he was long.
Man,
Shit, he pushed Scott shot.
Okay, stop. I was going to stop him to say that.
Scott
He came down yet.
Who was that slam dunk to the beach? Well, the shit was still up from slam
Yeah.
dunk to the beach.
The Pepsi bottle.
You know where you
Put
put
that
that
bitch on top. We can open it. We can open it.
Man, listen,
Yeah, so
I know
he-
what you mean.
Drew was, man. People don't realize Drew was.
He was ready in ninth
He
grade,
was
8th
an
grade.
athlete,
Right.
man. Like
This is my story. Like I remember we was sitting there in the old Central. You know, everybody. This is my 10th grade. You was 11th grade then. Y'all was the man. I was a young point, but this is when we had a super team. You know,
Right.
I like to call it. You remember when Josh went through the lane?
when he dunked it
On Mike?
on everybody.
We seen that at school.
He dunked it on everybody.
Yeah, we seen that at school.
But only
In the
one
morning
person
time.
really got the
In
real
the
wrath
same-
for that, though.
It's the same game. Like
Man,
he
listen.
had 30, Drew had 30, packed house. I'm like, yo, listen. I'm a young boy then. I'm really.
You just watching. You absorbing it.
And I mean, I'm out there. I'm just diming. I ain't really doing much, but I got a super team around me. I'm just like, yo, I didn't realize.
That's when
until
y'all had
I-
Jamil.
We had
Yeah,
everybody.
AJ, listen.
We had a whole starting 12 that could go anywhere in the state.
So what was your best game your junior year?
My best game my junior year.
What you say? Because sometimes it ain't always about like the points and shit.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, my
about the
best-
effectiveness
Yeah.
of the game.
I ain't gonna lie, my junior year, right? We played CR and I scored 25 the first half.
That was they had Eric Mayo.
Josh Thornton,
Yeah,
was
Thornton,
Avery Reed.
They had that African.
They had
7-12.
Avery Reed. They had James Stratton. They had a big
Yeah,
thing.
Yeah,
Like,
it was tough. It was tough.
and
And they
never,
were sophomores your junior year. Cause they was our age.
Yeah.
They was our age.
and I'll never forget. Like they 20 the first half.
Because you and Thornton was all.
we all-
Hold on. So how do you feel about that matchup at that point in time? Where do you feel you was at?
That was my motivation.
Okay, that's
Every
what I
year.
wanna hear.
Because
that's where it was
playing
at.
The sharpshooters, Cove and them always put him
It was
above
all-
me.
like, we all
And I
was there.
remember we played at the University of Maryland and he was late and they started me and I think I scored 30 something.
Went off.
Because remember, Kyle and Marky D, they was vouching for me to get more plants, but that was covering them like go-to.
Yeah, that was his job. He was going Jordan.
So every time I got in, if like I would get hot, and then it's like you come in like
you gotta go back
so
to
it was like trying to get used to a different role from like going and like having the green light to like meshing, and then having somebody that they think is
better.
So that was my motivation. Like,
I got you because I know, even like I said, at this time I'm not really playing that much.
And I don't take nothing from. He was a bucket.
Yes, he was
a bucket.
Yes, he was. But I felt like that was always the comparison.
He don't like to be touched.
No. I'm gonna keep it real. He was a shooter.
Yes, he was.
Because once you took I'm the point guard. I know something. You know what I'm saying? I know.
It was always Thornton and Rowe is that 2 guard that was dropping them bombs out there, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm asking you. How did you feel? And then you gave me the answer that I wanted to hear for real.
All right, so you said Moses, but to me,
that was the first motherfucker bust my ass.
He was just, he was always poised, like, and he had that.
I love that.
He the first person I see with and that's who I got that move from, where you bounce and you keep it on the bottom. Like, I'm telling you, like,
that was my.
Because he would drive hard and like he would stay on his toes and like he would bop. So when you if you overplay, he already and it looked prettier because he already moving that way and you still
he already going that way. My 10th grade year, like the same way, like nothing I could do. He was just schooling
my junior year. They beat us by 1 in overtime. I think he had like 28. I had like 31.
I love
vice
that
versa.
game.
But it was like a back and forth. He beat the press by. We couldn't even. We was known for pressing.
He was a bigger Mackey for real though.
And
you know what I'm
you
saying?
Just can't press. You can't press somebody that can. You can't. You're not gonna rattle him. He'll back it out.
Yeah, he can do it all.
Like he gonna drive and make you collapse, back it out, crossover, and like every time he bring 2 defenders and then he back it out and cross, and he get back to the other
that
side.
That was special, man.
He was tough.
Outside of Kyle, him and Marky D are my 2 favorite point guards, man. Them 2 right there.
I got a story about this guy too.
Man, look, just tell it. Shit, ain't no need to go in the orders. Shit.
A lot of people was nicer than me when we was younger. We had Storming.
Yeah.
Storming.
And so I remember everybody was like, this kid that moved here from Seattle.
That's all I heard.
So like niggas, I ain't even get picked up on the Storming team. I ain't make no team.
Like you said, you started on the
Everybody.
Yeah, Ani. Yeah,
he was first pick. He was bigger than everybody.
And I was just like, I was trying to convince. Even my uncle Matt was the coach. He didn't. He was like, you ain't ready. So that was motivation. Like, but I remember like his game was just so much different than everybody's around here at the time.
It was
came
very
back
different
because nobody wasn't doing what he was doing.
No, it wasn't. He came to Lewis and he hit Slim with that fake, and Slim jumped away over here. I said, no, we in 7th grade.
Slim's still my guy.
That's my
that
baby.
Guy is still running.
Yo, like bro, like we in 7th, 8th grade. Nigga came down and he pulled that bitch out here, and Slim just slid. And he made the layup. I'm like,
he was different at an early age. Like,
that's my first time seeing him hoop.
So that was like motivation though, like, cause he was like, everybody was like coming. I remember filling the gym up to see him at Storming.
Yes.
Like, so it was like, man.
It was on my heels too. Like I remember that. Now, Booter, that's what they call me. I really know. Hey, Booter, you gonna play him? Booter, you gonna play him? I'm like, God damn, is that serious? You know what I'm saying?
So like when you see that as I love basketball, but when I saw that, it was just like it made me go harder.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people like slept on me kind of because I didn't have a name back then.
That's why we here now. So give you these flowers.
So when my opportunity came, it just.
Now I remember we had a side conversation though. You used to say you used to go down to Bethany Beach all the time and just shoot until they kicked you off the court at an early age.
Yeah, they used to
because they know kids doing this
y'all
now,
know CC Belmont? He came back from the military, right? This how it started. 8th grade, end of my 8th grade year, and he would come get me every morning at 6 o'clock.
Right.
He would actually rebound from. I had to make 500 jumpers, not shoot. I had to make 500.
He from the military, so he ain't bang about nothing.
So every morning he would have my mom would give me like a gallon jug of water, and he would come pick me up, and I would stay there until. And that's how on double rim. That's how I got my
on a double. You gotta go straight in.
So that's how, like, without him,
it's work.
That's how I learned. That's how I learned how to put the ball in the basket.
Yeah. See.
And then meeting Dane, he took my game to the next level because he always instilled in me. Like after my sophomore year, he was like, "Yo, you got to put the ball on it." He's like,
That's the only thing you can't do.
And even though I wasn't fancy, I just started coming off the screen, ball faking, and just I could get my one dribble and get away from you.
Right.
And then that turned into later on, I could actually I couldn't do what Kyle was doing, but I could.
You had that Kobe handle,
Yeah,
just enough
I
to do what you need
I
to
could
do.
put the ball on the floor and make you retreat. And if you
Backed up anyway.
my CC always taught me if somebody backpedaling, it's no way they can close out.
No way.
So I used to always watch people's feet when I came off the screen because your feet tell it all.
That's it.
If you're too open, I know that if I jab one way, you can't shift your feet. So that most of my moves are just off of reading the defender.
Right.
And that's why I tell a lot of my guys, you can't run up on somebody guarding them like this.
Nah.
You need to angle him. Get yourself together. Because you just can't run up on anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I remember, once I learned the jab step, and as soon as you retreat, there's no way you can close out.
Not going backwards.
No. And that's how I got a lot of points just off of basic stuff.
Because that was me. I didn't have the best handle, so I was the one dribble pull up. That was my shit. And like you said, you cannot go from this position to this position.
Nah.
I'm already in the
See,
air.
it's crazy that you told that story because it explains your shot.
It goes straight in.
Yeah.
You know
It
what I'm
goes
saying?
straight
It
in.
explains you shot on the double rim.
Yeah,
And
it was you had to.
like I said, the scout report, like Drew said, I'll get up in them, but even after the game, you still had 30. You're like, shit, Kyle was nothing I could do.
He already
laugh
shoot
it
to the
off.
rim.
We laugh it off anyway, you know what I'm saying? But he like,
But with Drew, you had to shoot it to the rim.
you know what I'm saying?
Back then.
Exactly. I'm telling you, he could go get it though. He was athletic. He could block a jump shot. A lot of people can't block. He could actually block a jump shot.
Get off the ground and go get that.
I ain't never know you shot on double rim.
Man,
Yeah,
so
that was every summer, and that after my 8th grade year, me and Cece, that's how it started.
after your 8th grade.
After my 8th grade year, it was a lot of people that was better than me.
Right.
And when I got to 9th grade, that's when Coach, he kind of told me. I didn't know, but he was like,
You ready?
yeah, because he was like, man, you knocking that thing. He's like, who your people? I'm like, I'm from down the way.
But see, nobody else can see that though.
Yeah,
Kelly's a good coach. He see that. He's seen that.
If Chris shout out to Chris Hopkins, he was preseason first team. They had him preseason
Yeah, but I remember
first
Chris
team
Hopkins.
All-State.
I remember.
They-
Braves.
yeah,
Sir.
from Seaford. So third game of the season, he was averaging 20 something. I was averaging probably 7, 8. I'll never forget it. He broke his arm. We didn't know he broke his arm that night. He left. He left with the the paramedics and shit.
Right.
Took him off. Next day, I remember in the morning, Coach. He was the attendance director.
Right.
So when you first come to school, he was like,
The first one, yeah.
so I'm like, damn, what I do? He was like, listen. He was probably capping. He just wanted to. He was like, man, they said we ain't gonna win no more games this year.
Oh, he was motivating.
And he was like, he said, it's up to you. He said, you got to grow up. I was like, what you mean? He was like, he said, it's your time.
This 10th grade.
Yeah, and see, what people don't know was always tension before because I was young.
Right.
And they wanted me to shoot and score, but you know how it is.
He's a
When you got
senior.
older
Yeah,
people,
yeah.
they wanted the ball.
Like, yo.
So you know how it is, when you want to do, but it's like, in my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna give him the ball because every time you make a move, they
Yeah.
So I was deferring, and then once Coach was like, nah, he was like, it's take over. And I remember we played Lake Forest, and they had the cat named Terrell Hicks.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was like the D Wade.
Somebody else.
Yeah.
Somebody
He
else.
was like
Hold
the-
on, I can't think of it right now.
I remember they had Terrell.
I
Like,
just
I never
seen him
met
not too
somebody
long ago.
before that he could do it all, shoot, jump,
Yes.
dribble.
Yes.
It was somebody
He was about
else.
6'2", 6'3",
And
6'4".
with a nice
He was a
eye.
monster too, though.
Yeah, nice. Like we ended up
At
winning
Cape.
the conference. Yeah. After they said we
Hey,
won.
Kate, I remember that.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't Little. It wasn't Darrell Little. Little
Matter
played
of
with.
fact, I think Littles was there my sophomore year, right?
I remember that game.
And yeah, I think I scored 31 points that first game. Like
During the
as a
season.
as a sophomore.
Oh
once.
man.
Once he got hurt.
Yeah, and I had like three more straight 30-some point games, and then that's when I was on the map.
He
Like,
was on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, because I remember, like I said, we crossed the way.
yeah,
Every night, Rolo dropping 30.
That's why I said this is where I start hearing about you.
I'm talking about
yeah. It was
every
like
night.
it was like after that. I remember we played late, Then we played Seaford. I hit the game winner at Seaford.
Who's on Seaford?
They had CJ
Watson. Was it Watson?
CJ Scott.
CJ Scott.
Breeze.
They had Brett Williams.
Brett.
CJ,
And
They had
Virgil.
two big, Virgil. Yeah.
They was
That
tough.
was rough. I know them in Lake Forest was doing that all year long. that
Virgil was
year.
the guard with the braids.
Yeah, Brady.
Yeah, he was tough.
Yeah, Virgil's tough.
dark skin dude.
Virgil's
Yeah.
tough.
I know them in Lake Forest did that all year in that South.
Yeah.
So,
And then,
what games do you light up your sophomore year then?
So
You said you said late.
Yeah, man,
You said
everyone
you
after
said you
that.
hit the game winner
Yeah.
against
against
Seaford.
Seaford, and then like that's when people, like to me, it didn't really like catch on at first. I
Yeah.
just was doing
Who
what
you
I
was shooting?
Yeah,
You was
and,
knocking
like,
that bitch down.
It's just everybody else was like, yo, like
Cause you gotta figure, bro, nobody was doing that
No.
after, like, I mean, Polk had his run.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Polk had his run, but you came out of nowhere with it.
Nowhere.
Like I said, we split AAU. Nobody really knew
Because it was giving
knew
other
about
people
you,
looks.
but when you
And-
came, yeah, and you stayed.
and it's how my opportunity
That-
came,
that's
which was
what I
crazy.
That's why I said
Because
what I said.
like Chris he was scoring, he
20,
had 20
I remember
every
Chris.
game,
I remember
like every
Chris.
straight 4 games.
I remember Chris.
And I think my highest was like 13 or 14 before then. And then like it just took off. Like
That shit happened fast too.
it happened fast. I remember he came back during the conference championship, and then it kind of like it's crazy, right? I didn't score under 20 points the whole time he was going until the conference champion, like his first game back. And
Against
then,
Lake Forest?
like yeah,
They beat y'all?
now we won.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think I had 16, he had 14. But it was like, you know how it like you had
Somebody
another
else
score,
come
so it's
back,
like
yeah.
the chemistry because he was going, so it was like.
Mhm.
it kinda
It was all about you when he was going.
Yeah.
You know,
And
I remember
like,
that tear he was going.
I think
Yeah.
we didn't do well like in the tournament. It was just like the whole chemistry. Like when somebody being out that long and come back.
and y'all running the table. Y'all winning
Yeah,
at this point in time too.
we lost 2 games when he was gone.
So who was the roster when he broke his arm? Who was the 5'6" on the court? 7 on the
it was
court.
Brandon Mann.
So he already know he's a true point.
Man, listen, the most unselfish person I know.
What? And
He-
it was a killer though.
And he the
He
type
was a
of
killer.
player. That's
Brandon
right. You know
was
how
a
some
killer.
people like if you get you know how you be having
Right.
hating ass niggas
Yeah,
on the team.
all the time,
Everybody
yeah.
do. But he would tell you every time he was like, "Yo, come to my." He said, "Yo, get open."
Got you.
And like, every time he was like, "Bro, man, get open." He was like, "Yo, get open."
Yeah, man.
And I'm like, and me and Brandon, right? Because I used to stay with him.
So he was in 10th grade too at the time.
Now he was in 11th grade.
Oh, he was a year older than you.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was in 11th grade. So it was Brandon Mann, me, Travis White,
Mhm.
you know, Trot,
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Jamil
yeah.
Trot.
Man, you can't forget about Trot.
and I'm trying
Energy
to think
man,
who
energy man.
it was somebody else too.
Oh man,
But
where
I
was
can't-
Cody at this time?
Cody
He was
like,
in and out.
Nah, he
Probably
was-
in varsity.
yeah. See, Cody was Now Cody was on varsity, but
He
his brother, because his
Trav
brother,
had game
he
too.
was a stretch
Yeah,
four.
yeah,
back
he
in the
was
day.
out there.
Broken Robin
Yeah,
Lopez.
Stop playing.
He was 6'4", but he didn't play down. He played on the wing.
Yeah,
Like
right.
you know, back then in Delaware, if you was 6'4", they had you on the block.
Right.
I know.
Trav was shooting that
He was
thing.
man. Listen, he was filling it up from deep. So Cody got in to like relieve him, but
Right.
Trav was putting up 20 some games.
Yeah, I remember Trav was tough because I always remember Trav first,
Yeah.
and then Cody came.
See, everybody got it confused because they look alike. So they was like, "Yo, how you still playing all these
Right,
years?"
right.
But it was his little brother.
It was a year older.
Same haircut, same build.
So you say y'all win the conference championships. Name's Lil Rocky when he come
Yeah.
back. Y'all
We lost
win a
the-
game or lose one game, lose
Now,
first game.
we won the game and we played Sally's at Polytech and
Second round.
second round, and that was like, listen, when I tell you that back then, like, yo, they shot the ball. Once they got the ball at the tip, they held. It was the score was like 2-5 the first quarter.
Yeah.
Oh, so them in St. Mark's had this. They was.
It was
going-
like no,
yeah.
they were running the offense until they got a layup,
Oh,
like
man.
a back door. So
That's
it was just
crazy.
like it was one of them type of games. Second half, this how we opened it up. We started running.
Yeah.
Once you get the lead, and they got to try to keep up with you.
That's how we beat St. Mark's.
But back then they had 6. You know, upstate they had like 6, 7, 6. They had bigger players. than us.
Right,
6'4",
yeah.
6'5",
So,
6. Yeah, I already.
They beat us by like 3 or 4. They ended up knocking us off.
So if Chris don't get hurt,
Oh,
it's a
man.
different year, man.
If Chris don't get hurt, it probably
It just takes it's a longer process.
yeah.
It's a longer process. But that was the time it was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because then the 11th grade year, you already know you coming. Now you coming into
I had
the
the
year.
confidence then. Like And like even like see everybody that knew like because he was telling me the whole time like what I was and I couldn't see it until I got my chance. But he was already telling me. He was like man I've been telling you.
Right.
Like you know how you like when you living in you don't see it like other people can.
Around you see,
But you like,
I already know.
yeah,
And he was like
yeah.
man you put in the work every day. He was like every single morning
Mm-hmm.
besides Sunday. I had to go to church on Sunday, even on Saturday mornings, every single day besides
That
Sunday.
work is gonna pay off.
Yeah.
And that's what he would always say. He was like, man, you put in the work. So you
And this
can't.
Dame telling you this.
Now, this is my boy CC.
CC, okay.
See, once I got the tech, Dame took me under his wing.
Right.
And Dame the one that, he was like,
No,
yo, he was like, you got to add something to your game. He was like, and before I would leave, he was like, what you going to come back? You got to come back better. Like,
Right, you have to.
because he would always take us to them tournaments up at like the Browns boys and girls.
Yeah, I remember. You
Like
Crows
playing
and
against
shit.
like Mark Eggerson and them when you like
Yeah.
they were just on a different level. Mark
Because y'all played them in, what was that, 11th grade?
11th grade year.
Final
We ran-
Four?
Yeah.
we ran
What was
into
that? No, now, your 11th grade year, I want to talk about that game too between y'all two. But while we're on the Eggerson topic, what was that like? Did y'all get blown? Y'all think-
Nah.
What was,
They beat us
what
by
was that
like-
game? They had
They
Pringle.
played before us, right? Yeah.
They dropped the ball.
We just
they
lost
was up and
the
still
heartbreaker.
lost.
Yeah,
though.
we
Who
just
beat y'all?
lost.
Dover?
Dover. Fucking Dover.
Even without you, they should have beat Dover though.
Fucking Dover.
They had
Yeah,
them. They
listen,
had them.
I remember because everybody was like, "Yo," because you know back then they thought if you was from down south you couldn't play.
And we had 3 teams in the Final Four. Still ain't getting no goddamn championship.
And that's the thing, right? It's crazy though, right? It's hard to explain.
And crazy, the same 3 that to
Tech,
give you your 2
Dover,
losses
yeah.
every year, no matter if
Yeah.
you was in River or Tech, the same 2 teams, and it's y'all 3
At the end.
at the end.
Yeah.
Them
It's
games
just
So what was
good.
the game like against Eggerson? Because Eggerson was big shit, and they had Marky D and the
See,
boy Pringle.
everybody knew about Eggerson and Marky D, but when we got up there, it was the Pringles.
Pringles
Like,
show.
That's what I remember.
like listen,
Pringles
Mark
show.
scored. I think Mark had like 27, 28, but it's like
The effectiveness.
He made-
we
the
didn't
difference.
know. Like Coach ain't say shit about him.
Yeah, he went on the scout
He
report.
went like nothing.
That's how. That's
Marky
man,
D stopped
listen.
penetration. He's shifty. Keep him in front.
Mm-hmm.
Eggerson, it was just like
They was saying he was the next Bronny.
yeah, who?
Eggerson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at the time, and that's what Coach
They
said.
went
We were,
Georgetown too, didn't
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we were doubling him because he
So
was
how Pringle get off? Like off the rim? Because I know he was
listen,
an athletic type player.
Yeah, rebounds and put like
I was at that game.
I
he was
remember, I was
catching
there.
it on the
I was
wings.
still hurt.
He was taller too. He was just catching it on the wings.
Yeah.
And you know they had Cody like
He
no
was,
disrespect, but he
he
was
just
like
just couldn't do
he was
nothing
more
with it.
athletic.
yeah.
You couldn't do nothing.
And he was a man. Pringle was like 6'6" though. He was
Yeah.
big though, wasn't he?
Man,
He
listen,
was tall.
and the thing we ain't know nothing about him until the game started. So it was just like, who this coach?
And it's crazy because if y'all, so what was the final of that game?
They won by like 8 or 9.
Mm.
They
Dang.
was up. They was up big.
And y'all ran up
They was
there.
up. Yeah, they was up like 17, I think. Third
Okay.
quarter.
That's
They
what.
ended
And
up-
cause we left.
I think we
thought
got
y'all
it to
were
like
done.
4 or
Yeah.
5. We got it. We cut it down, but then like they ended up winning by like 8 or
Just couldn't
9.
get that
We
lead.
just
But if you win that game, y'all played Dover and y'all split that year.
yeah. Split.
So tiebreak.
See, it's crazy because we split, right? They beat us like by 1 or 2 in overtime, but when we went up to Dover, you know how hostile that
All right,
was.
no.
Woo!
We already
I
know.
snapped up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we beat them by like 20.
Oh yeah. And they was tough. This Moses. They
And that was just like playing at Central. They had the one side where like the fans was like
Right
literally
there.
they could touch you.
Yeah.
Yes, they could.
And
As soon as you
they
take
had
the ball
Lamar
out,
that
they
year,
right
too.
there.
Yeah, and you know their fans
Yeah,
are different.
Lamar
Rest in peace. Lamar hit a lucky
Yeah.
bucket, didn't he?
Rest in peace.
Yeah, yeah. He,
I guess to get to the ball.
Yep.
hold on, I think that was
Lamar
St.
Hurst.
Lamar
Yeah, yeah,
Lamar
yeah,
hit
yeah.
floaters.
Yes, he
Floaters.
did. But he was hitting game winners all playoff though.
He's my baby, but
Yeah,
yeah, I remember those
yeah.
little floaters. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
So that was
Yes,
your
sir.
junior year right
my
there.
junior year.
And that was the year. So let's talk about the game between you and Smoke. What was that? The still who goes to the conference championship.
That's when they came back, right?
Yeah, Kate.
I think y'all was down 20. I thought the game was over because Brandon Hudson.
Brandon was lighting Kyle ass up at the
listen,
beginning.
listen. I ain't never seen Brandon play like that before.
See, and Brandon is my guy. We fought with Brandon heavy,
And like
'cause he was young.
He scored like
20. He scored about 20.
I think he scored. I think he
It was
scored
like
20.
20,
He scored the first 20
22.
points of the game.
And I got at least 18 of them.
He I think he scored our first 20 points of the game.
Now this is how it really went down. I know him, but he shoots and he jumps so high on his jump shot.
yeah.
And by the time I'm right here, yo, he was hitting for the right. You already know how it was.
He was hitting everything the first
Yeah,
half.
this is my homie. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, he going on. You know, he getting a step back. Oh, you know, I remember he had his knee brace on. He tore my ass up in the first half.
But what people,
we both were sophomores at the time.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Both of us.
and the game, you would have thought that was the conference championship. How many people? I think the game was sold out because it was to see whoever won that game was going to win the conference. Pretty much.
Easy. That was probably one of my.
I'll never forget the turning point of the game was when Drew dunked on Brandon.
Come on, man.
Was it you that scooped it back to
Come
him?
on,
They
man.
played that on Channel 1 at our school for about 2
I
weeks
never
straight.
lie. I
man.
think it was Frank.
Hey,
that
yo.
scooped it back to him,
Hey,
and my
look.
boy was on the ground like this. All you see is
That's
Drew
bad.
like this.
Look, listen,
Boom.
Drew dunked on him, right? He fell down.
Shit, man, we-
He tried to take a charge. Drew dunked on him. And on everything I love, he had to go, he went to the emergency room that night.
Who that?
Brandon man,
Oh, man. What happened?
he had a
You
stiff
know what
back.
happened?
Oh, when Drew dunked on him.
Look, listen. I swear to God, I stayed with him. He went to the emergency room. He had a
It's
stiff
all
back.
out of love.
It's all love. He know it is, but we always tease him like,
Yeah, that was, man. That was.
But Brandon a
probably-
legend too in his own right, so he can
Yeah.
laugh that off too.
That was one of my most memorable games in high school.
Man, that was one of the best
Probably-
games I ever seen.
it was mine too because of like the atmosphere
Yeah,
and for
and how it was.
what was
Everything was on the
It
line.
was crazy how like it ended
Crosstown.
up being like who's gonna take it all that year.
And every night,
Yeah.
we trying to see if y'all won, or you know what I mean.
Y'all had to lose the CR.
Or what you was doing. You know what I'm saying? We
They
already
lost to
know.
some- I remember like Coach called everybody, and back then I ain't had no cell. He called the
No,
house.
he got to
phone.
go to house.
So like it was late. He was like, "Well, we gotta play them again." And I think we had just one day. Like it was like so quick, a quick turnaround.
Yeah, because they played like 6 games in 5
That was
games.
during the snowstorm,
Yeah,
right?
crazy time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the best time ever because you didn't practice. It was a game every night.
I only think we had school.
Yo, listen,
yo.
we
I ain't
was-
gonna
I
lie.
remember
it was
nights
all
that-
makeup.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
People was in my house. I'm walking across people.
Yeah.
That was the time. Yeah, we was coming to play
Yeah.
y'all at
At Cake.
Yeah.
And about 7 of us just all in the house, laying down, trying to get right for the game. And that was, I can honestly say,
Man,
the
listen.
most memorable game that I ever can remember in high school.
And
Man,
for
listen,
all the
that
people
game
that don't
live.
know, the old
'Cause y'all
cake
blew
floor,
Laura out for the championship.
that
Yeah.
old cake
Yeah.
floor,
Best thing in history.
They
Little
gave-
big house.
They gave you
That
extra
bounce-
4
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Yes,
Yes,
they
no
did.
trampoline underneath.
They gave you extra 4 inches
Yes, sir.
Yes, they
warm
did.
ups.
Yes, sir.
Like
Between
even-
that and momentum, you up there.
and I couldn't really jump like that then, but like it even
Man,
gave you
why?
like,
Come on, baby. Yeah.
So when did you first dunk? 12th grade?
oh yeah, my 12th grade year. I remember I think Delcastle like the second or third game. I had like 4 dunks.
Man.
Like that's when I started like
Your
like-
game started to evolve a little
Yeah.
bit. It became.
I started working.
Every night,
Coach
yeah.
Dame had me on the weights that summer before because I was
Cause you
always
ran cross
told-
country too,
Oh,
nigga.
yeah.
You was cheating. You
Yeah.
ain't tell nobody. You ain't tell nobody nothing.
Coach Harris, he was coaching track. He was like, "Man, come out here, man." He was like, "I told these guys, man, that you can keep up with the best mile runner." I'm like, "Why you telling them that?" He's like, "You see what you do at practice?" Because we had to run 8 and 8,
Right.
Yeah.
and I would run them so fast.
Non-stop.
Yeah. So we got out there, right? And I remember his name was Chris Singh. He was an Indian kid. Like, and I beat him. He was our best mile runner. I beat him at practice, and everybody was like, I didn't really know what was going on. They was like, he's like, man, he was like, he said, you know what you just did? He said, he been winning all his meets, and you. I waited till I just followed him
So
till
this
the
your
last
senior
lap.
year?
Nah, this is my
Junior
junior
year,
year.
you start running cross country.
Yeah, so look,
Okay.
I just coach told him. He said, man, he said, stay on his heels till the last lap. Then he was like, he said, and that's what I did, and I left him. And they was, everybody, like even the main track coach, he was like,
Damn. Yeah.
I need you.
but y'all had a guy at Cape though.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. He was a mixed kid.
Oh, Street.
Yeah, I don't know his
What's the
name, but
Matt Jackson.
yeah.
Matt Jackson.
Yo.
Yes, sir. Them boys was out there
Listen,
stroking.
he won the states. Yo,
Yeah, man, listen,
We was in
Larry
the
and the
States.
track team.
Yeah.
Them
Back
boys
to
won
back.
states.
Remember
Yeah,
back to
them
back.
boys states.
because you remember back then Darius Miles and them used to do that dumb
Yeah.
shit. So
Yeah.
Ayers would stand at the corner every time, and he would do that to me, and that means
Take off.
Ayers did that, and he took off.
They
And
ain't crazy.
no, for real, and I couldn't like.
You can't get there.
And if it weren't for Ayers, man, like a lot of kids went to run. He got his whole basketball team to run track. Kevin Mall.
Yeah.
They like
That's my
They
baby
broke
right
a
there.
state record in like the 4x4 or 4x2.
Kev was a hidden gem too. I don't want to talk too much about Kev, but
But-
we'll get him on here
Yeah.
too.
Kev went and got you that night.
Yes, he did put my shit up there by the rafters.
The
But
scoreboard.
Kev was a hidden gem because he didn't play football until his junior
Junior
senior
year.
year.
Yeah,
And the
junior.
bitch led the state in rushing.
Russian. Yeah, Kev.
You know what I'm saying? All he did was hoop.
and he was like a defensive anchor. He didn't care about scoring.
Kenyon Martin. That's
Listen.
what it was. He was Kenyon Martin.
Listen, man, him, Ani,
But they don't make kids like that.
nah, they
Ain't
was
no dirt
they was
courts.
they was dogs, and like if niggas wanted to fight, they will fight you.
Yes, they
Like,
will.
So
Yes,
it
they
was
will.
just like even at practice, what people don't understand, like I was the way I was because
You see him every day.
man, listen, and it wasn't no the first team play the second team. They mixing the teams up so that you can. Practices was tougher than the games,
Right.
Yeah,
and that's
you-
what people don't realize. Our practices,
And they know your game.
yeah. So it's like they put you got to go against Kevin every night, and then he talking shit like, "What you think they gonna do to you tomorrow?
Yeah.
What you think they gonna do to you tomorrow?"
And that's exactly what they were
To
trying
be a
to do.
cat was the same person.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
So you're seeing your game start to expand. Are you bringing the ball up, or you just
I'm doing a
half
little bit of
court?
everything.
Okay.
You know, like
'Cause I don't
before
remember.
I used to run from the ball.
Yeah.
Like when they inbound the ball, I'm going down. I'm going to
I'm
the
setting
middle
up.
or to the corner.
Right.
I was
Come
they
off
was
something.
always hiding me.
Right.
But my senior year, it got to the point, you know, in the trap.
Because you go up
reverse it
to
back.
you go up 2 or 3 points,
Yeah.
and we all hoopers. We know if your points go up, you either hit more shots, but there's no way you can hit more shots because you always drop.
No, we gotta
but you're,
think-
get, you're getting your own
I
shots.
became a
now.
better rebounder. I think I was averaging like 8 rebounds. I was getting like
Get more into
easier
the
points
game.
too.
Yeah, get more into the game.
And then like you getting a swing back on the press, and then you just getting it up and just starting the offense.
Right.
And that's when I got a lot of easy points because people would play off of you, and I would just pull it up.
Right.
Like,
I remember, man. Listen.
And I used to thought they were bad shots, but they was like, yo, if you
you got
don't.
to figure you pulling up from 30
Yeah,
though,
so
back
like-
then.
Listen.
You know what I'm saying? Back then, you
So
pulling up from
sometimes if I
30.
got the ball and I was open, I didn't shoot it, they would be like, Coach, like, I'm taking you off, you don't shoot. And that's what people don't
I
realize.
would tell a kid like you the same thing.
Man, that shit was
And I'm
you
just
don't
like,
shoot it-
but it was so early. We didn't have a shot clock, but we just got the ball up
We
court.
just got
And they
it,
want
right,
you to, and I'm waiting for Mike Burton to come to get the offense. 'Cause I want to come through and come back on the wing. They wanted me to pull up right there.
All respect to Mike, I think you're the better option.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
And then Mike was on this show.
I was here.
Mike
Mike's right
said
here.
they was
Yes,
telling
he
you
was.
right.
I
But
love
once
Mike.
again, it's all out of love.
It's all out of love.
Every
We got-
night.
One thing about this show, we're gonna let y'all come on here and talk y'all shit, but we're gonna keep it funky too.
Yeah.
We're not gonna taint what's real because it's a beautiful thing we got here. So
And like my senior year, right, my game evolved, and I remember, it's crazy though, cause you know, like as an athlete, I don't know about, I kind of like always, I was nervous before every game, right?
Always.
I always
Always.
kind of doubted
I still
myself,
is.
even though
I
I
still
put in
do.
the work.
I still do.
And I remember, that's how I knew, like, I kind of arrived. Like, I told you, like, every time we played CR, I just felt the way because of the Josh thing.
yeah,
Just because, like, how Cove and them, like,
how they did
How
the
they-
situation,
Yeah,
like
right.
I felt like they was trying to, like, create a narrative, though, kind of, like, because he was like, oh, Josh can hit this many. I remember we was having practice. He was like, Josh can hit this many threes in a row. And I remember I hit, like, 13 or 14 threes.
in a row.
And he was like, that's when he was like,
It's still
damn.
right, but you know, we from
Yeah.
down the way.
And I
We
remember his
rocking.
dad, like his dad was all like on the right. He was like, man, just play your game.
Play your
Right.
game, yeah.
They gave me confidence because they was like, you know how it is. If
Shy.
somebody
I've
not
always
playing,
thought you was the tougher
But he was
cover
too
guy.
shy.
Like-
That was the thing.
and you're not playing, so I'm like, damn, maybe I ain't good enough.
Right, right,
But
right.
his dad, like, man, nah, he was like, man, you supposed to be out there more. And I'm like,
Because I remember my 11th grade year, I shut Josh down first game of the year and put 20 up. But then I played you, and I think you hit me for like 25.
I remember it was early in the season, right? I always had that game circled.
Both of them, because you played them twice.
Coach Harris, we was at CR.
You already
Coach
know,
Harris came.
man.
He was like, "Yo, UCLA, all these people was in
Coming
the,
to see him.
And guess what he said? He said they're not here to see you. He was like, all these people here.
Coming
And
to
then
see him.
he said, and they're not here to see you.
Yes, sir. I
He
can
said
hear
he was
him
like, you should be pissed. You know, Coach didn't cuss. He was like,
Nah.
you should be pissed off. So I'm like, man,
Yeah, he definitely.
like,
But
and
first
I-
game of the year?
it was probably like the third or fourth, but it was our
It was
first
early
time
in the
playing
season,
them.
okay.
Yeah, but
Before Slam Dunk.
And the crazy thing is, they played a boxing one. So guess what Coach did? After the second play of the game, Coach Harris went and told about. He was like, "Let me bring the ball." He was like, "Let him bring the ball up," because he was like, "That way, I already got the ball. That's when I scored my career. I scored like 46 that game.
Just with
SCR.
SCR.
I mean, Josh had light. Yeah, about 20.
They had Ani.
It didn't even matter.
I think he might have had like maybe a dime.
Yeah, it didn't matter.
15.
Ani not giving that shit. Ani like
because he played you full court and he was,
a lot of
you know,
players
he
don't
was
understand
strong
that.
with
Bean.
it.
I'm gonna keep it all in Bean
Face guard
because
you.
I'm certified to say it. The nigga was overrated.
Yes, man.
You feel what I'm
Listen,
saying? But
I ain't never had
See,
that.
the thing about it though, he could shoot, but if you played up on him,
He don't
if you
want the
made him put the
basketball.
ball on it, that's why coach was like, you gotta evolve your game because once you made Josh put the ball on the ground,
was done.
his percentage went down too
Yes,
when
it
he shot.
did. Yes, it did. And then he'll throw it up.
And
Yeah.
I didn't know that until we started playing AAU together. So
Yeah.
now I'm figuring that this helping me like learn the players. So when
Yeah.
we come down to the
And
season,
it's
like,
not
I
no
know
knock
he
on
was
Josh.
good.
Man, he was still a
I know-
bucket.
oh,
He still was a
still-
bucket.
don't
But
get
it's
it
just
twisted.
like, you know,
It's just
different
that you feel
dynamics. Like
I know what a nervous body is.
Yeah, a
You know
high
what I'm saying?
percentage is just catch and shoot.
Anybody can score just catching
That
and
time-
shooting.
But once she started putting the ball on the ground,
Against certain defenders.
Yeah.
Because he had 47 against
Uncomfortable.
Poly. You know what I'm saying? He had big games, but
Shoot.
But against guys that didn't touch him, he had
sometimes
to-
you play the Hornets, but then sometimes you get the
I
Heat.
know,
Sometimes
our
you
AAU
get the
team
Bucks.
was built around him,
yeah,
Right,
everything.
but he wasn't the better
Yeah.
player.
Nah, because if you was on this team and you was on this team, there's
You
no
was there when we
way.
had Boateng and all that, right?
I still
Yo,
feel don't get me started on that because I still feel like they robbed me from player of the year. But we're not
Yeah,
gonna
he
go
was-
there. We're not gonna go there. But yeah,
It was politics. He was
It was
big-
really our time. For real, for real. It was really our time. But you know how it go. You know how it go.
After that AAU shit, that's when I kind of
So-
like felt like I was ready. Like
So the 46 happens your senior year.
yeah,
Yeah, cause
Early.
because your junior year, you can't bring the ball up against the box in one. See,
Nah,
that's why it's
I could-
important to elevate your game.
but I was still like I could still catch the ball and like
Get
you
your
know
one
if I
dribble.
was open and you closing out, I could pump fake and get that one dribble and still get my shot
But I'm
off.
saying that because for all the
Yeah.
young kids that's watching, you have to evolve your
Oh,
game
yeah, every year.
You
You
can't
got- yeah.
can't stay the same
You can't.
because they run a box and one against you senior year. You have 16,
Yeah,
you have 13. But the fact you put in that work, because I remember your game changing.
and
I remember your game changing.
And I didn't like coach saw like that's why coach saw that he was like first player he saw he was like they guard me face guard me all the way down the court. I remember coach called a timeout. He was like, "You gonna bring the ball up?" And I'm like, "What?"
Man,
I
that's
remember
crazy,
the confidence. I already knew the
That's what I
game was
remember.
there, but that junior and that senior year, the confidence was through the roof.
through the
Like,
roof.
It was
shit,
just-
that nigga had a little swag with him. He was a little shy at first,
Yeah.
but then that senior nigga had swag with him. Like,
Yeah, cut the
you know
braids
what's
off.
up.
Coach made me cut the braids off. He
You know what I'm
told me
saying?
it was gonna be a good year. He said, "You gotta cut the braids off, man. You got." He wanted me to put dress. You know, coach. He wanted you to like look the part.
Yeah,
You had to though.
Yeah.
You had to because he's seeing a different level for you.
Yeah, he
You
did.
know, like you said, I can even say when we talking to kids now, they can't see what we
We
see.
see, yeah.
You know what
Cause
I'm
we
saying?
been there, so he been there, so he already knew what was ahead of us.
Yeah, so that's my thing. So your senior year, third game, 46 against CR.
Yeah, CR.
What's your next couple? What's your next games that you bring?
That was my highest game that year, but I feel like my best game was when I went back to play Indian River.
Hometown.
Yeah, it was at Indian River, at the old Indian River.
The whole that was like Central.
Yeah, and I remember like just like all the like hype going back. And you know at halftime, like at the JV game, they let you get a ball and shoot.
Yeah.
They wouldn't even let me get
Oh,
a
they
ball.
were doing that.
Yeah, so Coach Harris came to me, he was like, man, you know what? Because I never got to play. I was always sick when it was time to play them every year.
That's crazy. You only play it once.
Yeah, because the first time I played them, they scored 36 points and I had 37 for the game. And I didn't even play the fourth quarter.
That was your junior year.
That was my
Oh.
senior year.
Oh, that you had 37.
That was like a couple games after
Damn.
the 46 game.
Cause they was like you said.
And I scored probably 30 off of just coming off my brother's screen. Right side every time.
I know they was mad about that.
Like, yeah, like, man,
Niggas not even
listen.
seeing 20.
No.
So they just seen
And he had
30, 40.
37, right? They had
Multiple
They
37.
had 36.
That's crazy, dog.
Like, that was like my home school.
Yeah, well,
First time
yeah.
playing them. And it was like, and everybody there, they was like, yo, this ain't been sold out since Dortez Major. Like,
Right, yeah.
they was saying,
Dortez
like,
is a
Roro
legend.
coming
Yeah.
home.
and I was like,
Yeah,
I
Roro
couldn't
coming
believe
home.
it. Because you know them little gyms, it was just hot and just the
Yeah.
atmosphere was
Yeah.
different in like them smaller gyms back
It
then.
was a good
Yeah.
feeling playing in gyms
Yeah.
like that, though. It
I
was
remember coming
definitely.
to them games. You walk in
Yeah.
the door.
Man,
It's
listen.
right there.
It's
It's just
just-
the whole joint. Yeah.
it was just like when you feel like the crowd is on you. That's like the
Literally
craziest
touching
feeling.
you.
Yeah.
So what? So in the playoffs, y'all don't. What happens in the playoffs that year?
And the crazy thing is, we swept CR during the regular season, and then they beat us
First round playoffs.
first round.
Oh.
Nah. See, we had a first round bye.
Oh yeah.
They won, and we had a home game.
And they beat you.
Man, listen,
That's tough. That's tough.
beat us.
That hurts.
Bad.
That hurts.
And you figure my senior year we only lost 2 games.
That's what I'm saying. Like I remember y'all. And this is damn near the same exact team that just went to the Bob's senior year. You add Brandon Hudson.
Brandon
You minus
Hudson.
Brandon Mann.
Yep. Brandon-
Travis is going.
Yeah, Cody. Arnie.
Jamil's going.
Cody.
Yeah, that's a big
Arnie,
piece
Me,
right there.
Mike Burton,
Yeah, y'all
Brandon Hudson.
Y'all supposed to do more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we underachieved because you know they had us had us
Yeah, y'all was,
winning it
y'all
all.
was, I'm about to say y'all was up there.
We
And
lost.
then y'all was playing like y'all was about to win it
Our
all.
one game we lost to James and Bennett. They ended up winning the title that year
Down
in
in
Maryland.
Yeah.
We lost to them at them. You know
Who was
when
on
we played
Who
in
was
the-
on Bennett that
I think
year?
it was
they
John
had,
Holmes.
John
wasn't it?
Holmes could jump out the
Yeah.
gym.
You played you with John Holmes then.
John Holmes could jump
Me
out the
too,
gym.
yeah, John.
They had the
That's
white
where I
boy.
met
Chris at.
Chris at.
Yo, who? Chris Mills? At
That's
Tri
where we all
County.
met with
Yeah,
them. Yes, sir.
I remember we
Yes,
played.
sir.
Remember we played them down
Yes,
at
sir.
LWS, right?
Yes,
Yeah, we blew y'all though.
Yes, y'all did. Yes, y'all
That's because
did.
y'all hit all the players on the sharpshooter.
We was stacked though.
Man, so
Nah, but
yeah, about to say,
they James and Bennett they won
the
it in
states down in
Maryland.
Maryland.
Yeah. They beat us in the Maryland tournament when but back then it was probably like 4 or 5 Maryland teams, 4 or 5
Yeah.
Delaware teams.
Right. So then, who else y'all lose to that year? Because I think y'all beat us twice.
Yeah, we finally swept. We finally swept y'all. We finally swept Central.
Man, they smacked shit out of us.
Not Dover.
Yeah, about to say.
Dover beat
Okay.
us. Yeah.
That's usual shit.
Yeah, Dover beat us.
That's
We was on
usual.
Dover that year. What did we do?
They
against
had
Dover?
What year?
That was
they had
Terrell
Tyrell
last.
Hick. I mean, they had
Moses
Terrell
last year.
Moses.
They weren't really. I didn't think they was really that tough.
They was just
Barham
man,
was
Coach
watching that.
Coach Kelly just always had he coached.
Tyrell went off that year though,
Yeah, he
man.
did.
Because they didn't have
He
much,
was
and they
top
was
five.
right.
He was
Tyrell
top,
went off
yeah.
that year because
That's the year he snapped.
Big Man left. The Dale brother left.
Jordan was tough.
Jordan was
Jordan
tough.
was
Yeah.
That's Jordan get buckets though. You know, Dale was like a hustle man kind of,
Yeah.
but
Played
Tyrell
hard.
went off that
Hanging with him
year.
every night.
Tyrell went off
Yeah,
that
the
year.
year
So
they
y'all lost to
12.
Dover,
Yeah.
and then y'all lost to James and Bennett,
James and Bennett.
and then CR got y'all second
At
round.
the, second round too at home.
Because that year, that was the year we beat Newark, and then we lost to Middletown by fucking.
I was at that game too.
Yeah, we should have beat
Well, to them by
We
one.
was up.
Playoffs.
Yeah.
Hey, we was up. We was
Yeah.
up. No, we was up.
For to us.
18 to 6 in the first quarter.
Savage went
We
out.
was up 22. They was up 22 to 20 at halftime. We scored 2 points in the second quarter, and then the rest of the game was like this. We lost like 64 to 62, and they went on to win the championship.
I remember we missed 15 free throws, so we couldn't blame nobody. It's like we just
Against CR,
yeah. We
But-
lost by like 4 or 5, but we
I'll-
missed 15 free. Like
I'm gonna tell you what happened too. Same thing happened to us senior year. Y'all won too many games in a row.
yeah.
You got to take a loss somewhere down that
Just to
line.
humble
man.
Who comes to the game to say I'm ready to lose tonight?
Now,
Nah,
nobody goes to the game thinking that, but
It's crazy.
in the
though,
sport of
'cause, like,
basketball, you gotta have bad luck.
my
Bad luck
senior
will come
year,
in
it's
sometimes.
crazy because like I never really played a whole only when we played Central Cape. Only a handful of teams
Yeah,
we played the whole game.
We should have beat y'all that senior year.
Yeah.
That was the year Mackey took
Mackey
that
got
tech
it
at
too.
the end.
Yeah,
It was
Tech.
75-75. I never forget it.
Yeah.
It was
And
arguing
he
with
had
the
4
rest.
free throws.
Yeah.
He had 4 free
So we
throws.
didn't,
That was the game.
Cause I didn't realize this till later on. Coach was like, "Yo, you know you was averaging 28 and not playing like most of the fourth
28.
quarter."
So that was like Steph that year in the NBA. He wasn't. So the summer going that, do you know you're going to college or?
yeah, well, like I think I had failed. I failed something after basketball season, so that
Not-
kind of messed
not
me.
caring.
Yeah, so like,
Credits. Some bullshit.
so what happened right when I had graduated? I was 16. I was gonna turn 17 that October, so I went to a prep school.
I think I remember that.
Yeah,
too.
Mark Eggers. There was a lot of people that was up there.
Marky D.
Yeah, all them was up there.
Yeah, okay.
But the crazy, I had offers though. But the crazy
Where was that
thing
prep
is,
school at?
it
Because I
was in
still
Philly.
was that. Okay.
Yeah,
I still didn't know that.
And how it happened, like Coach Kabasa ended up getting the Wesley job. And I remember my mom called me. I was still up there.
Look how God worked. That's how it works.
She's like, Coach reached out to me and he was like, if you played here, I'll be able to see you play and this and that. At first, I wasn't trying to hear this. I'm like, nah. I'm like,
so you're at the other school as this phone call taking place?
I'm like, nah. I'm like, nah, Mom. I think I could have went to Clemson, right? I could have came, but they wanted me to sit out. I'm just like, man, I ain't. Nah, I just wanted to play basketball.
Right.
But if I could have did it all over again, like I'll tell Coach.
You didn't think it was kind of real though. You know
I didn't think it was real. Nah, but this the crazy part though, right? I had 2 good years at Wesley, and I tried to. What people don't realize, I tried to leave, but Coach went and like. He went like in college you gotta get released. Like they gotta sign off when you leave.
I know.
Yeah, I remember I was going working out at Dell State, right? I was trying to leave, and he went and signed off. Like, and that's
go to Dell State.
Not really to go to Dell State.
Anywhere.
Cause that's a couple of teams that was like, if you get released, we pick like.
Oh, see. I didn't know that release you to go to another school.
Yeah, but if they don't, if they don't release you though, you can transfer, but you can't play.
Right. I got you.
And that's when kind of like that's when Coach
you.
And that's when all the fallout started happening.
Right.
Because they was like, yo, was selfish. Like he came like, cause I think my freshman year in college, I was runner up for player of the year. I was rookie of the year, runner up for player of the year, the leading scorer in the conference.
Right. Yeah, talk that shit, nigga. I like to know. You say, you know what I'm saying? Shit.
I mean, it was D3, but like it was.
It don't matter, niggas.
I was like, I think my freshman year I was like 16, 14th in the nation in scoring.
Yeah, see, that's numbers though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I don't give a fuck where it's at.
Yeah.
Right.
So you stayed all 4 years at Wesley?
Yeah.
Okay.
And what people don't realize, like once I got to Wesley, he'll tell like that's when I could jump.
Boy,
I could
everything.
I had my go-to moves. I could like.
It's just all I got in there.
And like I felt like at that time, I really felt like I couldn't be. I remember they used to bring 5 over to the gym. I remember Kyle used to be like, "Yo, you got to guard him." Like, he would tell his boy like, "Yo, don't leave him open."
Man, listen, I remember that because you had a different bounce about your step.
Swagger and everything. It was no.
And it's crazy though, because like once you get like, before I was always, you know how when you the weights would do this to your game, but I just felt like if I had did it earlier, because once I started working out with the football team, and I swear I just started. I thought he had crazy bounce, and I'm like
that shit came out of nowhere though.
Man, yeah, and that's what it was like for me. I came and they was like Rudy, Cody, everybody was like, yo, you could jump now.
Just come through. Boy, where the fuck? Where they come from?
Yo, and like I called a couple bodies and caught like.
Yeah, man, listen. I know you was putting.
If y'all get like Cody, Rudy, somebody on here, just act like. Evan Martin, you remember Evan?
Light skinned Evan?
Yeah.
He was at Dell State with me.
Yeah, he ended up transferring to Wesley, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like,
he was a true point.
Nah, but I knew he like. We used to have this conversation like, Rudy, we knew he couldn't fuck with you. Because when they would get arguing, Rudy would always tell Evan that he was like, the reason why you came here is because listen, everybody, man, come on.
It was a little wave of guards at Dell State at that time. And
was Sean there?
Sean was the senior.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That was the guard that the coach was like.
That's what came a little later.
Who's that? Who was the guard that?
Sean was the one that was really it at the time. You know what I'm saying? He was the senior though.
Right.
So I was a little freshman.
Just from Georgia?
Yeah, I was a freshman, but I wasn't playing, so I would still come over there. You know what I mean? We all know each other. So summertime, we working out.
Good runs, right? They would bring a 5 sometimes and just
because I remember we in the summertime we used to stay at Wesley, but during school times I don't. You know what I'm saying?
My freshman and sophomore year in college, I ain't come home.
Yeah,
I stayed up there. They had a shooting machine.
Oh shit!
Nigga,
you in the gym all day.
Listen, was you there when Rory Bright came when he transferred to Dell State?
Yeah.
Listen, Evan and Roy Bright I met Evan by working out. Coach had it so that they was like, I was staying up there. They wanted me to just work out with them because I was like the only basketball player up there. I worked out at Dell State every day.
Yeah.
The dude Poe.
Yo,
I swear I was so like, that's when I started getting like bigger, stronger.
Yeah.
And
see that game
at that open gym, that's when I realized I'm like,
you could be D1.
yeah, because I was doing and everybody was like, yo, where he from? And
right
like, yo, right
Cole will bring it out of you because that's really who got me.
Yeah.
When he started, you
Yeah,
know,
he had you had doing them hand clean, like he
Come on,
had you
man.
doing all types of stuff that you never. And I swear, like yo, you just felt lighter, like.
Man, listen,
Yeah.
that's crazy. Cause
And-
I remember your game at this point, and it was like, man, this nigga need.
And
goals.
I'll never
I thought you
forget,
were
right?
overseas
In
somewhere.
college, like Roy Bright, he came over. He was like, I don't think y'all had a shooting machine at the time. He was like, you know, he was country. He was like, yo, you be I put up 1,000 every morning before I go over. I would shoot 1,000 shots,
jumpers.
and it was so much faster because it was rebounding.
Well, your game shows because you figure you scored over 2,400
Yeah.
points, though. Like, that's some unheard of shit.
And you know, at that time, it was a big deal because he came from Cincinnati, so he was like, he used to be like, yo, you got game, yo. He was like, he the first. He was like, yo, he said, what you not gonna transfer? I want to say, he's like,
The
man.
thing is,
So then I called coach. Roy, he was just tall.
He
and-
was
and
tall
could
and
shoot.
jump, but he couldn't
Yeah.
Think.
lock in.
Oh, yeah. See,
He was,
that's the
what, he was
difference.
like 6'7" though. He was like one of the.
6'7" with a
He
jam.
could, he could
6'7"
pull
with
up
a
from
jam.
anywhere though.
Man, listen, I'm trying to remember who. I don't think I know who y'all talking about.
Um,
He went to Wesley or Dell State?
He went to Dell State.
Okay.
He was there with me.
Yeah. And like he was after that, I hit coach up. He was like,
trying to go to the league.
and coach was like, yeah. He was like, you should have. Coach was like, Ayers was like, yeah, you should have been left last year.
Yeah.
I was a sophomore now.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he was like, you should have. And I'm like, he was like, go talk to coach. And like, it didn't work out. But I don't regret it. Like,
You hold damn near all the
Yeah.
scoring records at
I
Wesley.
got scoring record,
You know what
like
I'm saying?
fifth,
Like, they
sixth
gonna
in
do that.
rebound.
That's your legacy. That shit ain't never going nowhere.
Yeah.
Though. But I know you probably the same thing with us. You wonder.
I mean,
okay.
the boy came. I think the boy might have came close. I think he,
LeBron, the white boy,
Yeah. Was it him?
Bronny White or whatever, the dude that's playing in the league.
Nah.
What's his name? He,
Bro, listen, I ain't for sure.
Man, I swear they saying that the white boy Bron, the what they're
I'm
playing in
not-
the league.
I'm
that,
saying-
they say that
they play
I'm
on
not-
50. I mean, over there in
I'm not saying
Queenstown.
that.
oh yeah.
Nah,
He
but-
they say
Yeah,
they say he was.
I don't know
good,
what
though.
his numbers is.
Did he catch you?
Now he ain't catch me, but they say he got.
Did he
look-
fucking catch you? All right,
I don't know.
Stop
Now, I
playing.
saw him play it. Saw him.
playing.
and,
I'm not knocking
yeah,
nothing, but-
he was tough.
but,
Point
yeah.
guard, yeah.
So listen, you got records. Records,
Yeah.
hey.
Cause y'all probably
It is
know
what it
Jit,
is.
right?
Yeah,
Oh,
Jay,
yeah.
you passed all his shit.
Yeah, cause I remember I passed. I was like a sophomore. You know, at the time I
Shut
didn't
up.
really like. I wasn't doing it like the break record. It's just
It
I was
happened
just
like
in the
that.
moment, and
You was
like
getting
I was a
bumped.
sophomore, and I had the all-time leading record there already.
Dog, you was out there snapping, nigga.
Yeah.
You was
So,
out there snapping.
Letting that bitch fly high.
And not only just letting it fly, that thing was dropping.
Cause you know,
So-
shit, me, I always kept up. So we from down the way. Anybody from down the way that came up Dover, you know what I'm saying? Of course, we knew everybody in Dover because they knew us from the rivalry. But
Yeah,
me
but-
being over there at Dell State, I've always kept up with
Yeah, I just
City-
remember. No, I
City
just
was
remember.
Dover.
Right, he brought that 5 over. And I wasn't used to Kyle scoring like that
Right.
in high school, cause he would always like defer,
Had dogs.
and like I just seen a different Kyle. Like
Because
nigga,
this senior year, he started scoring.
yeah. See, I was gone,
Yeah.
but when I seen him at like like jumping out the gym, jumper,
He still had his, always had the hand.
yeah. So I'm like, dang, like,
Yeah,
like he could score, like he could score every play down.
Yeah, that's how I'm thinking when he started
Yeah.
jumping. I'm like, well, damn, hold up.
Yeah.
You ain't never had that. He thinking the
Yeah.
same thing with me. Like, nigga,
So
shit,
like
you
you
ain't
know,
had
like
that.
he had his 5, and I just remember he was just like, "Yo, you got to guard him. Like you can't leave him open." And like they was just looking at me like,
Well, you know,
and
it's
we had-
three.
Because you're quiet and you're chilling,
Yeah,
not
you know,
bothering
three.
nobody. And then all of a sudden, going to 9, you already got 8. Man, that's what's up, bro. But man, once again, man, I want to appreciate you for coming by, fucking with us, man. Our first recorded episode, man. And but before you leave, though, I got some quick hitters, though, man. I want to know, before the games, what was you listening to? What was the music you was jumping on before the games? What got you hyped?
I ain't really listening much in high school because you know like at Tech. I ain't trying to brag, but like you know we could turn our lights down without it taking 30 minutes to turn back on,
yeah,
right?
that was the catcher.
So
Right,
they
that
would,
big ass scoreboard.
they would play the music. You know, back then you had to have like a walk. I think it was a Walkman.
CD
CD
player.
player.
That's what
But
was
you know, I
on.
ain't listen. But in college, I think when I got in college, that's when Wayne started like
Taking over.
with like the dedicate. Like that's when he first started with the mixtape.
Yes, it was.
And that's all it was mixtape Weezy.
Yes, it
before the
was.
game.
Yes, it
was.
Every game, it was just
Oh, man.
anything with Wayne, mixtape Weezy.
DJ
Yes,
2
sir.
drop.
Yeah.
So what's your all time favorite hooping sneak?
Kobe.
Kobe, low tops or the
Yeah, low top, hey.
Well, yeah, my senior year, he finally, it was like, coach was kind of mad because it wasn't the norm.
Right,
Like it was the first.
He was
like,
really the first one to start going
Yeah, so
low top.
they were making everybody get their ankles taped, but they was light.
Right.
Like
Right.
I felt like that was the first shoe where I kind of
Control, you know what I'm saying?
like it wasn't heavy.
Right.
Yeah.
I got a pair of low top.
Cause like we used to play like the LeBron, the older LeBron, they were heavy.
It was heavy as
Like,
shit. Yeah, it was
It
heavy.
was.
And when Kobe came out with that first low top, I think it was my senior year.
I ain't gonna
The
lie.
melons
I
we
got a pair of low top Kobe's. I don't know how niggas ball in low tops.
Nah,
bro.
and it's crazy. They just so light
I
though.
can't do it. I
Yeah.
don't know how. I'm so critical of these ankles, man.
Oh yeah.
And start, bench, cut. We got 3 Sussex Tech legends. This is your opinion.
Yeah.
Everybody their own opinion.
Yeah.
Pope, Roe Johnson, and Kevin Larkin.
In their primes.
At that time, 11th to 12th grade years at Tech. Who are you starting? Who are you benching? And who are you cutting?
And this
I
is
would-
all out of love.
This is all I love, because I
all-
love all 3 of them.
Yeah, this ain't no disrespect because
To nobody.
the reason why I wanted to go to Tech was because of Pope. Like being able to see him do that, and
At
when I
Pope.
was in middle school, it motivate like just playing at Tech, the only school in the state with the rims that weren't connected to the
But
back.
don't forget
Yeah.
about the scoreboard. That was
Yeah,
what got
that was
me.
special.
The scoreboard is what got me.
It was special.
And then coming back and seeing Lark do his thing too, like that's all respect. But I would start Pope.
Yeah. And I know you go. I know you going. Let me hear you say.
So, yeah. Your opinion.
It's your opinion. Because look,
Yeah.
I'm
You
gonna
better
have
than me
all 3 of them.
already.
I'm gonna have all 3 of them
Yeah.
on
You
the
better than me
all 3
already.
on the
I know
show.
what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
I know what I'm saying.
And
That, but if people forget, like Pope was coming down past half court.
Yeah,
come on, man.
And
One dribble?
I remember him playing at Cape,
The
and the fans was getting on. Remember, he double dribbled on
Yeah.
purpose.
Uh-huh.
He got the ball and double dribbled on purpose. The fans was going crazy. As soon as he crossed half court, he hit that thing and turned to the fans and was like,
And shot the fucking
yo,
guns.
he
That's
was like,
the
he was
fuck
shooting
did.
this, and like, I was like, yo, this dude different.
Yo, he
Y'all
was
two,
very
y'all two put
different.
on definitely.
So for the record, you starting Pope,
I'm gonna start Pope. I'll sit on the bench. I'm gonna have cut
Cut
my
low.
baby Kev.
and I still love you,
Yeah,
nephew.
yeah.
But he gonna come on the show, and I know what he gonna
Well,
say.
everybody gets a turn. And when Kev come on here, he should say Rose said the exact thing I was gonna say.
He gonna have to sit the
Yeah,
bench.
hey,
He gonna
now.
get cut.
Come on, man.
Well, bro, man, one more time, man.
Oh man,
Appreciate you
it's a
coming
pleasure,
through,
man.
man.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Definitely.
First recorded
Yes, sir.
episode.
yeah, it's a pleasure, man.
Oh yeah, can't
I don't
forget,
get a chance to see
man.
you.
Shout out to my homies at Feel Good Media, man. My homie
Feel
Tweez,
Good.
man.
Yes, sir.
If y'all
Shout
need
out
anything,
Tweez.
y'all need some videos, y'all need some pictures, y'all need something recorded, holla at my man.
Shout out to Feel Good Media. Up next, the usual suspects.